Hey, make it look messy up here. Literally, like, make it look messy up here. And dude,
but you do know I had a good idea about the reviews for the new venture. What I'm telling you, man.
When I hear your ideas, it takes me like 2 days to
process.
Yes.
Riddle this one. Riddle this one.
Okay.
A Groupon for our industry. You don't know what Groupon is?
I do.
Yeah. Think about that.
Go on.
Why would if there was a Groupon? We could have a Groupon.
For what?
A Flucon, FlexCon, or what? I don't know. That ain't right. But you know what I'm saying, though. Honestly, a Groupon for bits where you run specials. That's the point of Groupon. You go there to find specials, and that's what you freaking buy.
Mm-hmm.
But / review / bringing all the influencers together.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Let's get started. Hey, welcome back.
Thank you. Welcome back.
I feel like I should leave. Welcome back. You got Stephen and Nick here. We're in manufacturing, and we're gonna talk.
Yeah. So today's segment's brought to you by Bang Energy. Apparently, thanks to Jeff for just rolling in with some bangs. So.
Well, actually, I gave him my credit card.
Oh, you did? Good. I thought he did it out of the kindness of his heart. Apparently, I was wrong, but we all know Jeff. No, I wouldn't. Thank you, though. So we're going to kind of go through a brief history, FlexArm, FlexCNC, the inception, kind of where we came from. So, Nick, you want to take it over?
Yeah. So we came from Dick Kennedy back in 1970. What was it, 71? We just did a...
One.
It was 71 for
How
sure.
do I know this? And Dick's not my grandfather.
Well, I wasn't here for the scavenger hunt.
I wasn't either, but Jesus. I feel like that's common knowledge.
So Midwest Specialties is what we started out as. 1971, Dick, this was a contract manufacturer. I think he actually started doing it. He was liaison deals. And then he got a contract and he built his own plant and got his own equipment and all that stuff. Government contracting.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Good. So where'd FlexArm come from on that, man?
That was birthed in, so when the government contract, he actually there was a chemical spill that killed the government contracting for him. Like, Lord knows what happened. But it's Dick Kennedy. So
this is not on the record.
No, great guy. I mean, self-made guy, obviously.
Right.
Dude's a stud. But there's a chemical spill. It killed the contracting, so they started scrambling. They were like, well, dude, what's our next product? And they came up, the FlexArm with birth. And basically, they were a machine shop. They were stamping. They knew what the needs were. And he came up with the FlexArm. And I believe it was developed, and then the product was the FlexArm brand was launched in like 84.
So FlexArm, its brand, launched in 84. Pretty well, we could call it designed out of necessity. Am I right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a machine shop, right?
Well, no, not only was it a machine shop, but it was a necessity to survive. I mean, it's your classic frickin' American story.
Yeah.
Like, has an accent. Like, what's next? Like, he's not going to get beat and start over and go do something. Like they came up with a brand new product and went to market, invested, and what happened was then that slowly started to take over all the business. So today, we're machine tool builders. We do very little on contract manufacturing.
So basically, it just took over as the flagship product line at that point. That was it, 100% invested into it. So what was the first arm? I mean, was it the A32? Was it the...
No, it's for us, it's that classic 4 parallel arms. And yeah, just like on this one right here.
Yeah.
So I think it's more similar to our MC. We actually have one here. We should grab it.
The original?
It's out back, yeah. I was going to put it on
Call
display.
Jeff went and got his bangs. You think he'll get us that arm?
No, it's not that. No, we'll get a picture of it or something. But no, it's very...
There's a picture right here. It's in between us right now.
That's what we need. We need an Asian standing between us with a FlexArm.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
So...
You're painting a picture.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
You're doing well. So the kind of the 4 parallel arm style ordeal, that's the first arm on there. So I know my opinion of it. That's probably, I wouldn't say our most popular. I'd say right now our most popular as far as pneumatics concerned is the A32 arm. You agree?
Yeah, I agree. And that was actually getting into it. So the A32 wasn't something Dick designed. So we started with the 4 parallel arms. He created a series. He had a small one, a middle range, and a long reach. So short medium, long, and they all had different reaches. But that's funny.
No, you laughed.
I
felt like I needed to laugh. You still signed my paycheck, so I laugh at your jokes.
That's fair. So basically, they owned it was they dominated with the branding. Like somebody just did it right. They hit the magazine. Back then, there was no Google or YouTube. So, but they hammered the trade shows and magazines. And I don't know if they worked with dealers some, but they still had a pretty good direct approach, and that's why we did so many trade shows. That's how we got around the country, and we became the Kleenex. You've said that.
Yeah.
Like FlexArm's like the Kleenex in our industry for an articulated arm. So it's a bit of a compliment when they.
I'm just over here fact checking you. I feel like right now.
Please.
That's all I'm doing.
Am I lying?
No.
So,
I know the story, so it's just fun because the guys listening, the folks listening, they don't know the story on it, and it's kind of fun to bring it back because I don't know, it socializes who we are, so you get to know us a little bit better.
Yeah.
Why we came into play on this. So I want to change gears and talk about where we're really leading the industry on the hydraulic arms. And having that 2-inch tap capacity on there, where did those guys come from?
So the hydraulics came around 99 is when we first were introduced to the hydraulic technology, just to pull a bigger tap. And that's where, so globally, Dick, he decided to partner with a company out of Europe. And they had a hydraulic technology that he wanted, and what they didn't have was a nice pneumatic option. So back then, they pulled resources together to globally cover the market with the FlexArm product. And so the pneumatics were his deal, and the hydraulics came from a company in Spain called CMA. And together, we've been partners ever since, and we've globally dominated the market ever since.
So we're celebrating 20 years this year of true partnership with CMA, which is pretty cool. A lot of people say partners don't work, and
yeah, this is a testament to that, especially a global partnership to boot. I mean, it was a strategy because we're still a small company. So, and it was a great way for us in an industry where it's expensive to create a product, and it's really hard to market. And we've been able to do so successfully for well over 20 years. And then it was that partnership that made us even stronger. So that's what I think has really set us up for success and globally given us recognition, and I don't know, it's been a great partnership.
So then we got the ergo arms, we got the part manipulator. We're gonna get to that one because that's my fun one.
The PM.
Oh man, the ergo arms and the die grinder arms, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean they kind of, by design, a guy calls you up and says, "Hey, I got this torque tool and I want to put in this thing.
Yeah.
I want it to counterbalance. I want it to counteract the torque, and I want to maintain the perpendicularity." So it's a simple design change at the front end effector.
Yeah.
And boom, you got an ergo arm.
Well, that's what again, back to just back in the beginning, where this company's always been super innovative. It's identifying problems. So, and we didn't have an ergonomic line of arms or an ergonomic solution. That wasn't our model. But naturally, when we saw the void in the market, again, early 2000s, we came up with our own line of ergonomic arms. And so that launched the torque reaction arm series that we have. And now it's a growing part of our business big time, because not only do we have our own series of arms, but it's the end effectors. They're all custom designed, they're special, and it's so broad. I mean, we've mounted microscopes to cameras, to tools, impact tools, nut runners, you name it, and that's it.
I just keep thinking about the video, getting into the part manipulators. So the material handling arms, the video, the first one that you did, and how ghetto that thing was.
Well, I used a flip cam.
Yeah, no, just the arm itself was ghetto.
Oh, the
when you
yellow
took
one.
when you took the yellow arm and you put actuator, like, I think you were in college.
Yeah, I think so.
Am I right?
I
think you were probably intoxicated.
I doubt it.
I'm joking. God, your jokes are funny. Mine suck.
Children could be listening.
Sorry for partying. No, it was funny to see that video, and I think, unfortunately, man, I don't know where that video went. Is it still on our server? Or
Isaac probably lost it.
Is it on Nicholas
I may
Kennedy YouTube page?
I don't know that it is. I'll find it. I'll try to find it for you guys. It was a good video, though.
Isaac, you need to. Have you ever seen that video?
I don't think so.
Dude, you talk about he literally took a tapping arm and it had like pneumatic actuators on this tapping arm. There was an angle and everything. It didn't look like our standard part manipulator. And this thing was flipping every single direction that you could think of. And I mean, it was kind of the brainchild of Nick, which is terrifying.
It is terrifying.
But honest to God, like it worked. And I mean, where did that come from? I think I heard the story. It was.
I think that's another one of those. That's one where when I came in, you go at trade shows.
People ask, right?
Yeah, people are always asking. They're like, oh man, they naturally look at the FlexArm. They're like, oh, they feel like it can lift something up. I'm like, no, actually, it's just counterbalancing. But we kept getting the question. They're like that. They saw the compactness of the arm, and they're like, oh man, something like that to pick up 50 to 100 pounds would be just clutch. And so I was young, so I was just a kid. So one of our old employees and I, Scotty Newberry, we started the design work, and we MacGyvered a few things, and you saw the video.
Scotty too hot, man.
And we started we created the what you know now is the FlexArm part manipulator, and even with that, what's cool recently is how much it's evolved with the end effectors. Because in the beginning, it was just the arm, the frame. We were like, hey, you guys figure out your own end effectors. But we've since scaled that side of the business, and there's so much opportunity with the customization of the end effectors. And that's, again, talk about a broad market. I mean, it's all over the place.
So, Granddad Dick, that's what we're going to refer to.
Granddad
Dick Kennedy has.
That's right.
From now on, we're going to go ahead and coin that. Granddad Dick started the company 71. FlexArm took over 84. I'm just recapping for everybody and myself,
all right,
so I can stay on track. I like to do this. So took over 71, took over in 84. Where did Nick Kennedy come into play in FlexArm? Where did Nicholas I. Kennedy?
So I came into play. I'd always grew up around the company. I'd
Sure.
worked in there. One of my first jobs that I did was on the contract side, where I stamped water can brackets.
Mm-hmm.
So I ran one of the presses and one of the welders, and that's all I did. It was an awful job, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Terrible.
not good at all.
I did that, and then through college, I transitioned into sales. I started doing that, doing a lot of the trade shows, traveled around a little bit, and then from there, it was a means to an end for me back then. I was going to school to be an officer in the Army.
Mm-hmm.
So then I branched aviation, went to flight school. I was gone for 5 years, and then Dick died in 2013, and then I inherited the company. So when actually in the first year that I owned it, I was deployed, coming back, and so I didn't physically come back until 2014. So 2014, I came back.
So you did a lot of offsite stuff, and I wasn't here during that. I don't know what you, Brandon, Kurt, and myself all came in within about a month of one another.
I'd
right?
say that 14, right? All
14.
that year.
So July to like August, we all kind of compiled in at that time.
Yeah, I'd say one of the smartest things I did, maybe the only smart thing I did, was I recruited a great salesman,
Mm-hmm.
which that's a whole nother video about Stephen.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Brandon.
But
I damn sure knew you weren't talking about Kurt.
Recruited Brandon Recker, who's now our COO, and then our head of engineering, Kurt Riemann. So I at least had enough sense back then to know we needed a good engineer. We needed somebody that knew the company well and had just good manager skills like Brandon, and then him and I are the ones who recruited the one and only, right?
Yeah, that's a fact.
So
I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse, but
I'm still trying to figure it out.
You guys got stuck.
But you know what should have gave it away though? The first time we met him, I think Razor.
I had a razor part.
Are the racing stripes?
No, it's just a single razor part.
You may or may not have come in with a bow tie.
I had a bow tie on.
And a white belt.
I did not have a white belt on. I
didn't?
had a bow tie on, and I had hot pink socks, and I sat down, and Brandon Recker literally looked at me, and he goes, "What the hell is that?" And he just laughed. And I think your wife actually gave me a compliment. She's like, "I like his hair. I think it looks good."
I'm sure she would retract that statement now, though.
Probably. I guarantee that's probably one of those things that she was young. We all we all were. We all made mistakes. But no, I didn't have a beard at that time.
No, you did not. I don't know if you could grow one.
I could.
Could you?
Yeah, I could.
I'm still working on that.
I know. You keep at her, buddy.
All right, so let's get back on point here.
Sorry. So 2014, you came in. You took over as we're gonna call you Commander-in-Chief of FlexArm at that time. So what are the changes that you made coming into it? Because there were some drastic changes that were made. I don't know how in depth you want to get, but I'm gonna dig.
I mean, it's going back that far. You got to figure this company, but when fresh out of the military, they get this kid straight out of the military. How old was I?
28, 9?
No, 27. I would have been 27 years old. Maybe even 26. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But straight out of the military, just hard charger, ready to go. And so I obviously had to make some changes, but I didn't realize that yet. And when we came in, and the company was small. We were only doing anywhere from 2.5 to maybe 3 million max in sales, and we had like 8 or 9 employees, and of which now, unfortunately, we had to make some changes.
I gotta text them.
We had to make some changes pretty quickly on personnel because it was just some natural attrition worked out, and then we had to let a lot of people go, unfortunately, because the culture changed. The company had been on autopilot for the last 10 years prior to me coming back.
Well, I mean, successfully the company could run itself. I mean, we just have that good of a product.
The brand is great, and that's where the company's been lucky in that regard. But then I come in, we're on autopilot,
right? And
now this is going to no longer be autopilot. This is going to be consciously a growth company. Like we're going to go grow this thing, and so it was a game changer. And not everybody is on board with a growth company, because I always tell people growth equals change, and change is hard.
It's scary.
People hate change. Scary. Change sucks, right?
It does. It's not fun, but
it's necessary.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. The 3 guys aside from you that came in, I think we all adapted to it well because one, Nick, I just don't think we had any clue what the hell anything else was.
Thank God.
I was pretty fresh out of the Army at that time too, and to me, I mean, controlled chaos that was normal. Thanks, Jordan.
Wow, silence
so,
yourself.
Yeah, no shit. Who are you? But controlled chaos was almost the normal. So Brendan came in, Kurt came in, I came in, and then building that team it
was hard.
Not just us. That was almost the foundation, the core. Then spreading out from that.
But even that was hard. Like it sounds easy, but it was a lot of work. Like even recruiting yourself or recruiting Brandon in the very beginning. I think it's a common misconception. Like you look back, you're like, oh, that was easy.
Oh yeah.
But no, not at all. I mean, I look back, I look at how I had to really, there's the concessions you have to make to pull in the right people and to do the hiring. It's a lot of begging, pleading. You got to make the call. These people don't just naturally come to you, good people, and say, hey, I want a job. You got to sell. You got to sell it. You got to recruit.
I feel like at this point, fast forward 5 years to where we are now, people are coming to us.
Oh yeah,
saying that.
Maybe now, but even then, it's always a sales pitch.
And I think it's because we build a super gangster culture.
Yeah, well, and it's something you got to work toward, and that's hard. It didn't happen overnight, and we're still working on it. I'd say even today, we don't have it entirely figured out. I wouldn't say we'd be voted best place to work in Ohio.
Oh no, not at all.
But I want that. We should. Where would you put us on the scale?
I mean, if we're going on a 1 to 10, I'd give us a solid 6.
Thank you.
I mean, that's above average. Yeah.
That's above working in the foundry.
Yeah, I'd give that a 4.
I think we'd make the top 500.
You think we'd make the top 500?
I bet we make top 500. I'd give you that.
How many businesses are in Ohio, Jordan? I feel like you'd know this stat for some ungodly reason. 505.
Hey, what's the? How could we should get a poll and make that happen. Like we should figure out if we're top places to work or not.
Who asks these people? Sorry, not trying to go too far off topic. Who in the hell? You see all these, right?
I think they're made up.
Best business. Who does that?
It's marketing.
It's not through Glassdoor. People rate companies.
Glassdoor's fake. You have to buy it.
It's kind of like when you go into a Chinese restaurant, it's Reader's Choice Award, best Chinese restaurant.
It's marketing. They made it up.
We should do the same thing.
We need to start marketing. I feel like everybody's getting our secret sauce now. They're getting the rest
voted best place to work in the state of Ohio.
On Commerce Drive in Wapakoneta, Ohio. I mean,
Devil's in the details.
Yeah,
that's really fine print, though.
Yes,
that's real fine print.
Super fine. Actually, United States of America, or in the world, like legit. You could say in the world, but fine printed at the bottom. 705 Commerce Drive, Wapakoneta, Ohio. We're the only ones here. That's what you don't know. Sorry, I'm trying to stay back on track. Tiffany did a fantastic job trying to keep us on track.
She did. Thank you, Tiffany.
It's kind of like herding cats. Thank you, Tiffany.
Where were we?
How did you build a team when you took over FlexArm? Were the people you had to let go? Question mark.
Whoa!
Yeah. Were the people you had to let go?
I do have a good story on that.
That's a question though. How many people have you fired?
Oh,
no, I don't like put teardrops on my face.
You should.
I'd be bawling right now.
His face would be blue.
So no, I mean so here's the deal. I will say, I've been quick to hire, and I've been pretty quick to fire too, because it's to me time is precious, and you always have limited time, money, and resources, and I haven't always made the right decisions, and hiring's a gamble anyways. Mm-hmm. So it's just been my we've just always right, wrong, or indifferent. That's how I've had to approach it.
Dude,
and we've made hard decisions.
People are professional interviewers. We've had some in here that, oh my God, Jordan, you'd be blown away. They're really good at the interview, and then they fall flat. And I think that's the quick to fire. Because they sell the hell out of you.
You can't tell in an interview. So unfortunately we've had to in a small company. It's really like visible to everyone. Like it has its impacts, but it's always for the better good of the company. Always. Like the only time we've ever let somebody go, it's never like a conflict of interest or anything like that. It's literally they're just not an asset to the company, and that's where this company, I always tell it's big boy rules.
Right.
Like because we're a 40-man shop. You have to come here and create value. Otherwise, it'll be apparent, and we won't accept complacency here, and we never have. So it just wouldn't be tolerated. Not with this culture,
Correct.
With the growth culture. So it all goes together. But where it started, back to my story.
Thank you.
Brand new record, the first recruit I did.
Yeah.
So I call him, I'm begging him to come work for me and to come back, right?
So Brandon worked here in the past. This is what these guys don't know. Brandon worked here in the past, right out of college for like 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So I think he made it up and said he's been here for 10 years, which is completely sorry.
10 is just a good number.
Well, I mean, you get on LinkedIn, it's like Brandon celebrating his 10 year, and I'm like, dude, Brandon was hired like 2 weeks before me. Just because I've been out of the Army for 9 years, that doesn't mean when I go back in, guess what, guys? I'm a 30-year.
But hey, we were just talking about LinkedIn. That's kind of like best place to work. Like you can say whatever you want to say.
Oh my God!
Right? I mean,
hey, kids out there, don't lie on your resumes.
Or
don't
on your
lie
LinkedIn
on LinkedIn. Don't do it. It's not worth it. I mean, if you do it, that's fine, and you get hired. You damn well better be able to do what you said you can do, because there's a lot of people that say that they can do stuff, like Tiffany, specifically.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't tell us half the stuff that she can do. I feel like she lied to us.
Yeah, she did a little bit. She's got a master's degree supposedly from Harvard, too.
Yeah.
I haven't validated it, but...
Good for her. I'm really proud of that.
I saw it on the resume.
Now, like Isaac tells us he can do all this crazy video stuff. We've yet to see it. So, where is that?
He doesn't.
Sorry.
He doesn't.
All right. So, getting back to Nick's story, Brandon worked here... We'll call it a few years. Nobody really knows how long. Records don't go back that far.
So I'm just trying to recruit this guy, and he tells me, he's like, "Hey, man," and he was right too. But he's like, one condition: you got to fire somebody. So our existing guy that was here doing sales, he's like, "You got to let him go." So obviously, one of the first things I did was satellite. I fired somebody. I wasn't even here.
We call it remotely.
A remote termination.
That's fine. I'm gonna give you a little word to put in the old bank.
I'm trying to think. Was FaceTime around back in
FaceTime
13?
was around. Yeah, maybe-ish. Not. Skype? Did you Skype him?
No, I didn't Skype him.
Oh,
but
you literally video conference to fire the guy.
Yeah, I didn't. I just had somebody else do it.
Oh, okay.
But it would have been cool if I did.
Dude, that'd be super gangster.
So Brandon had worked with him previously when he was there. And so he knew he was just an awful person. It's one of the reasons he left when I left. And this guy, we cut him loose just so I could recruit good talent.
So just so everybody knows, the firing thing, like, I know we're kind of laughing about it and joking about it, but honest to God, it sucks. Nobody likes to do it. All the people that were here, I think we still have good relationships with everybody, and they kind of understand that it just wasn't a good fit, right?
It's always mutual, and I'm a pretty firm believer. You know that you're gonna get the axe.
I mean, there are a couple people that they're the reason that we have key cards to get in the door, but.
You got the rest of the building's complete windows.
Well, I mean,
you can never be too careful, right?
That's a fact, especially in today's age. So is that all you had with Brandon? I wanted to go back to that.
I just want to make you guys were curious about the term, the hiring and firing. That's just honestly, I started out the track. It was
started
early.
by firing somebody to hire somebody. Yes. So that's how it works.
Though.
That's
real,
a fact.
That's real world.
Okay, so let me see. Thank you, Tiffany, for trying to keep us on track. So how did you know that it was time to hire more employees? So when I came in, we were, in 14? I say but when we all came in, we were 15?
Maybe. Probably not even.
Yeah, 12 to 15, we'll call it.
It depends if you came in when we were terminating or hiring.
Well, I came in, I don't know.
It was like a roller coaster.
There was only one termination when I walked in, and it was to get Brandon.
Yeah, okay, maybe so. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Because were you here when the old Eric Stewart worked for us?
Oh yeah, we're not gonna say names.
Oh, we can bleep that.
We're gonna bleep. Can we bleep that out?
We're not dropping names.
This isn't a live podcast, right?
I don't think there's anything wrong with dropping names.
So we had one guy, right? That was like my second weekend here. This is when I knew.
Let's get back to the question. How do I know? Doesn't matter. That's the beauty of it. I didn't know. You got to figure I was 27 years old. All I knew, and that I think that just goes to show you what can be done. It just if you have the right mentality. Because dude, even today, you can have a financial statement show you like where we're at and the heads per sales and see okay, we need to justify another person to continue on. But back then you got to figure I had no idea. I just knew we were going to be a growth company and we weren't going to fail. So that's really what started the journey to go hire people. You gonna elaborate on that name that you spouted out or no? That's all part of the story. So back to I guess in the beginning when we first started out, we had to clean house a little bit, right? Oh yeah. We went from a autopilot company to a growth company. Well, there was a lot of complacency, and that's why. Oh, there was a ton. We had all the wrong butts in the wrong seats. You've heard that before. Mm-hmm. This is a classic case of that, and it's not that they were inherently bad or doing the wrong thing. It's just now that I was in place, there was no way in hell it was going to work out. Right. Because we just had two totally different mindsets, and yeah, it was tough. Especially as a young guy just starting out. There was some it was hard. But again, one of the things that I did, no matter what, I was never going to accept the way things had been ever. And even though I didn't know what the consequences were, what that outcome would have been on the backside, all I knew was that making that hard right decision to get rid of those people was going to pay dividends in the long run. Right. And it has. But I see it so many companies, they keep bad people, and it's almost like they're scared. But here, never. That would never be the case. And that might come from the military a little bit, because you know how it is in the Army. It's cutthroat. Sure. Like you either pass or fail, you're good enough, you're not, you're in, you're out. And all of a sudden, the guy next to you is just not there. You're like, oh, yes, he didn't make the cut. Say yeah. Well, so, and this is, I've approached this place the same way. That's how you have to be, man. It's real world. We're here to make money. Correct. That's a fact. You hear people say it all the time, but in the same go around, we're here to make money, but I think a lot of us have built really good relationships. So when you lose somebody that's been here for a while, that sucked. Like that cuts deep. But like I will say, like when you do lose good people, like when they quit, when they leave, right? That's always a setback, and that's why now like one of my main goals is to, one, hire the right people the first time, but it's to build tenure.
We haven't had too many people, like, honest to God, and we haven't had too many people leave on their own goodwill. The majority of when you get in here, it's kind of, I don't know, Jordan and I were laughing about it one time, and we were saying, like, this place is addicting almost. Because it is. Like, I know you laugh at it, but I think we all motivate each other so much that you want to continually get better and better and better.
Yeah, we definitely challenge each other here.
Yeah.
And some people aren't cut out for that either. Like,
Even
they
if
want
it's
to
ping
coast.
pong.
Even
Like,
if it's ping pong.
You got smacked in the face with a ball today.
I'm so glad I got that on video.
So, all right, we'll keep moving forward here. Tiffany's ready to rush me along. So, how do you recruit the right talent? How do we get the right people? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Indeed? Is it, I don't know. Let me check all the apps on my phone that I have. I'm just joking. I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, you obviously have all those channels. It's not really, that's not the question though. It's, there is no one right for us. There's no science to it, man. Unfortunately, I wish there was. That's why you have all these expensive headhunters and stuff that think they place good people. They have no idea either.
Yeah, but I mean, there's got to be something. There's got to be a certain characteristic in somebody, like on the sales team. Every single guy out there at one point or another, aside from Joe Taylor, because Joe's going to listen to this, was an athlete at some point or another, and they all were.
There's a personality aspect to it to make sure you're a good fit. But
collegiate golfer, dog.
Who was?
Jeff.
JD, he was?
Yes.
I know he played in college.
Yeah, Jeff played in college. Some made-up Christian college, but that's besides the point. It's not made up, but it is a Christian college. They have like 500 people, and he was top 500.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, good.
Oral Roberts in Oklahoma. I was going to go there, by the way.
Were you? Good to know.
He ended up just going to his basement.
Yeah, he did. His parents' basement. Phoenix University online.
Hey, back to hiring, because we got to wrap this up. How long is this cast?
We're at 32 minutes right now.
Ooh, we're pushing it.
Oh, we're fine.
It's
It's 45 minutes.
So the personality test, that's actually something we're recently implementing. Is trying to figure out what that, we actually need everybody here to take a test so we can figure out what the standard is, like to figure that. And so like when somebody scores down here, we're like, even if they're good, you're like, we won't consider you because we know you won't work out.
Well, we've done that in the past.
But now we have an HR person. We need to officially do it. I think that'll yield better results. But and then the other thing is, I think we have pretty cool recruiting techniques, like not your traditional methods, but back to the culture thing. We've advertised like what we're trying to do here, like so people are genuinely just interested. So it gets you applicants, and typically the good ones, the ones that are interested in not just coasting. I told a guy one time, I think you were with me. I was like, look, man, if you want to work here, like it's going to be high pace, it's going to be great, it's going to be hard. I was like, so if you're just looking to coast, go work for Crown. And you can hide amongst many, one among many, you do whatever you want, no big deal. So I don't, just putting ourselves out there, and it's truly gotten us the right recruits as well. But we still make the hard calls. You got to go looking for the good talent. So
I've had some super gangster people come in that they weren't a good fit, personality-wise.
That's a fact. We made mistakes. Well, and that's why I'm still an advocate of quick to hire, quick to fire. Why not? You know, I mean, where I want to build tenure is with the guys that have been here that made it past their 90 days. You know, and those are guys, we know they're keepers. Like they're ready to, like they get it. They've seen the crazy. Like I've scared people off pretty quick.
This is probably episode 1 of 1 for me. You guys won't see me on the next one or hear me or sorry.
Yeah, we just did it recently with a guy.
Oh yeah, it was a solid week.
Not even.
It was a week.
I think what happened was I got
2 days. Shut up.
I got with him the second day. No. It was a week.
It was a week. He was out of the office.
He was mentally checked out 2 days.
You're right. Second, after he came back from a trip with me, he was like, dude, this ain't going to work.
I'm glad you say it so I don't have to.
I'll admit it. I know it was too much too fast, and I shouldn't have. But whatever.
I mean, dude,
behind your back, we call it getting nicked.
Getting nicked.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe I should have waited.
It's a verb.
But all that would have done was delay the inevitable, ultimately, right?
Correct.
So,
and that's just what it is. And the dude, like, honest to God, great sales guy, great human being, great person. He just got nicked, and he wasn't ready for it.
Fine. Fair.
God love him.
So the people, but regardless, you're always going to have good people finding struggles. And
I got
we
nicked
do.
the first 2 weeks, and I think I was fine. But it was, I don't know.
That's
it
why
was
you're still here, right?
different story. Maybe I just adapt well. All right. So last topic, and then we'll wrap this thing up, which this is so irrelevant. I don't even know. How do you know when it's time to fire somebody? And hang on, I'm going to answer this for you. I don't know. You just kind of know.
How do you know? Is it like you get butterflies or something?
I don't know. Yeah, like do your spider senses tingle? Like,
honestly, it's almost like when you met your wife. You're like, you just know, right? And there's like, so
I did. She had to sell me personally.
I bet she did.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean they root themselves out. It's you don't need it. There isn't some magic. It's just I think people the person knows, you know, and then what happens though in most cases guys just sit on it. They brush it under the rug, and then and I've done it in the beginning. I'm just as guilty. I mean we have turned over some people in order to build the team we've got now, but I delayed the inevitable because nobody wants to do it. It sucks. I hate it. But when all the folks that even though I knew, I'd sat on them for years. And all I did was I hurt the company and I hurt them. And the delaying the inevitable did no good for us.
Right.
And so the best thing that I could say on that is just nobody has to tell you. You know deep in your heart when somebody's and you just act on it. And that's what you should do. And I'm trying to get better about that, just for the better good of the company as a whole. So. And there are now. Keep in mind.
I'm just glad this is on record.
You can counsel people. I mean, there are turnaround opportunities. Okay.
You can rehab them, right?
We can have a meeting with HR maybe next time, and we can talk about.
So our next guest on this series is going to be HR. She's going to sit in between Nick and I. No, so I mean that's really it. I don't know if you want to close it out or I think I am, so I'm just going to take it. Sorry.
No, I'll close it next.
You close it next time or right now?
No, I feel like I should do it.
Okay.
So hey, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this discussion helped you guys. Like I said, we're in manufacturing. Nick and Stephen here. And we'll keep coming back, trying to give you guys some nuggets.
I'm going to call a timeout. So if you guys have any suggestions or anything that you guys want us to chat about, or not to say we're going to give you any advice in our early 30s, but because I probably wouldn't take it. But any suggestions, any ideas, shoot them over to us. And all right, game on.
Okay, so yeah, and then and that's about a wrap. That's all I got for that.
Good.
So hey, Godspeed. Until next time.
Thank you.
Is that good?
Done.
Should we shake hands or?
I don't know. You want a high five?
Can you
play some music.
Can you do that in the background? Can you put a round of applause?
Laugh track?
That'd be sweet.
No, we're not going to put a laugh track in.
She's probably shaking her boots because she hasn't hit her 90 days yet.
She was so quiet the entire. Didn't say a damn word.
Like, how do I stay here?
So what you're saying is, I haven't gained immunity on this damn island here. I hate to be that guy to tell you, but there's no such thing as immunity on this island.
Sure.
Even when you think you have it, you will get nicked, and he will check that ass.
Nick.
God, why'd you tell him that we say that behind his back?
Because we do.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Why are you at J. Marie's this Wednesday? I'm not Nick. Again, this is the 5th time this week and it's only Wednesday. Yeah.
Oh my God. Lights and mics. Lights and mics.
Lights and mics.
Is this off?
Oh,
We don't
my
work.
bad. Did you turn it off?
No.
It's still recording.
No, it's good. Thank you.